I was really excited about this festival because I do crave to see more representation and community around femmes and heavy music. And Rose Haven's a great organization that does great things. So it feels good to be able to donate our time for a cause.
Mm-hmm.
It's really rewarding. And I just like to see women in their power, screaming and being silly and having fun. So partially I just wanted to be there,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's
yeah,
an
yeah.
honor to participate and to be a part of that representation too for other femmes who want to be in heavy music.
Marina and Matt of Burial Clouds, thank you so much for your time today. Um, Looks like there's a little bit of wind where you guys are. What's going on? Are you enjoying the nice outdoors? Are you on a patio? Are you relaxing? What's going on?
We are, yeah. Our partner's playing a show tonight. We're at the venue right now and kind of in the back patio area, and it's filling up too. We might have,
So far, so good.
yeah,
So far, so good.
it's
So far,
beautiful
so
out here
good.
though.
Wonderful, wonderful. A beautiful evening on the West Coast. Nice to know. Nice to know. So let's talk about a couple of things today. I obviously want to talk about the show that you guys are going to play as part of the Femme Fatale Fest. I want to talk about what's coming next for the band. But first, let's quickly look back because 2 years ago you had your cool album out, Last Days of a Dying World. It was very well received. What does that do with a band, though? Like, does the positive reaction to that album and the continuous positive reaction to that album, I should say, does that put extra pressure on the band? Like, I mean, when you're working on what's next, is there a voice in the back of your mind that goes like, "Hey, more people are paying attention now. We've set the bar. We better raise the bar." What does that do with you?
Well, I guess I'll answer the first part of that since I was in the band for the last album. That I don't think it really increased pressure. It was more like motivating than anything. It's like, oh yeah, like we can do this. Like, um, but as far as like trying to, you know, top it or anything, I think the closest that I personally come to that is just, and probably would have been the same whether it was well received or not, is just wanting to always improve as a songwriter. So you know, I do feel like with the one that and we're mixing right now, we just recorded a new album. Not sure when it'll be out, but in writing that, it was like I really just wanted to feel like I had, you know, improved as a songwriter. But yeah, it was really just motivating more than anything.
So on the you said that, okay, you know, we're working on the new album, or not just working, it's being mixed right now. So the new album has been written, we've been recording it. On the previous album, we get like this really eclectic cocktail in your sound, right? You know, there's sludge in there, there's post metal in there. You know, from a crooning perspective, you know, being from Toronto, I felt some Leonard Cohen speak to me as well. There's a lot going on, and so you know, every song on that album kind of takes on a journey and kind of like flows. So help me understand as you're like getting ready and writing this new follow up album. Like, do you kind of have a plan where you want the song to go? Like, is there a conscious effort to that, or does the writing flow as much as the songs end up doing themselves? Like help me understand what kind of like, you know, going into that writing process, how does that go? Is there a plan? Is there a blueprint that you start with? Or was this as much of an adventure of discovery for you as it is for us as a listener?
You want to take that one?
Well, I'm sure we both have something to say about it. But Matt does a lot of the writing of the groundwork of the songs, and I would say there's definitely a cinematic quality, like taking someone on a journey. Seems like it's part of the design, or maybe just inclination, and it's allowed me to really get into different vocal types, styles, to really follow through with that heavy emotional tone. So
yeah, I think a lot of times we kind of just like we start from like the skeleton, and as we're putting the meat on it, it kind of just like feel like we kind of just let it go where it takes us. Like this is like a thing that we've talked about quite a bit. Like we kind of like we're trying to tell a story every time, and in doing that, there's sort of a conversation with the song. Let the song kind of tell us where it wants to go. Like the last song that we recorded for the album that's coming out, the last day of tracking vocals for that, we spent probably like half the time just like talking about what we're really trying to convey, and like she was saying, like exploring different vocal textures and deliveries. Like I think a lot of that comes from just not trying to create a specific sound, but just kind of seeing where the path leads, and we just follow it.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes you can just hear it too when you're already presented with such a complete work, but you can hear little windows of what it needs. I guess it kind of just calls to you, and it's coming together.
Marina, you specifically used the term cinematic. I was going to use that as a bit of a segue to talk about what to expect from not only the show at Femme Fatale Fest, but everything else that's coming. If resources were no issue whatsoever, what would the ultimate live experience then be like? Because your sound does lean itself to potentially a really cool live production as well, right? Like you can take people on a journey purely with music, but there's a visual aspect to that as well. And when music is as cinematic as you say, that leans itself to really cool shows, whether that is through dance, whether that is through imagery, whether that is through a Broadway style musical almost to the set, like whatever. Like if I can let you run completely crazy and you don't have to worry about the bills that need to be paid, what would be the ultimate Burial Clouds show look like?
I love that you asked that, because I often dream of a limitless budget to put on the whole production. I think we all would really love that.
Right.
I think everybody has a love of like film and art in general, and they're all multi-talented artists. So, I would love I would love a visual album, like a whole album with videos for every song that flow into each other like chapters to tell
Right.
an overarching story, and then from there maybe integrate those themes into stage performance. And I'm sure we would get bored of playing the same set arrangement every time. So I'd like to reserve the ability to change it every once in a while.
Right.
Continue to evolve. but I have a lot of little ideas for props and costumes and dance. So there's definitely too many things. Anything coming to mind for you?
I mean, he's got a background in, you know, in dance and
Mm-hmm.
like circus performing type of stuff, and what is it, aerial?
Aerial.
Yeah, and like, so I mean, like, sky's the limit, man. We could get like really, yeah, like you hit the nail on the head with the budget thing. Like, we had the unlimited budget. Like, I don't know, it almost might be bad because like we wouldn't know where to stop. You know, sometimes a limit to find your boundaries. You know, and like give you a
Right.
framework. Your big blank slate, man. We go crazy. We talk about that stuff all the time, like stage props. I mean, we're not like super theatrical for a band with kind of a cinematic quality. Like we don't do like a whole lot of theatrical stuff on stage. I like lighting and all that, but I can totally imagine like what she's saying, like sort of time, like making like a, you know, an album length film and tying that into a live setting would be.
Yeah. All right. Now, that's not yet going to be possible for this upcoming show at the Femme Fatale Fest. But for people that haven't had a chance to check you out live, what can they expect from the show?
They can expect it to be very loud. Very loud. Might be a little surprising. An emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, that's it. Like we really try, like live, we try to, like, you know, we spend a lot of time practicing. We practice a lot. And like, one of the main ideas with that is like setting yourself up so that live you don't have to think. You can just sort of like open it up and let it come out. And I like to think, at least on a good day, like that is what we try to do live, is just sort of bare our souls and we, you know, have the transcendent experience.
You also said earlier, like, we want to tell a story with our songs, but does, you know, with the music that you make and with the audience and the players themselves can get kind of like lost in the sound, if you will, making the music almost feel like a ritual, if you will, or a therapy session at the same time. Does that mean that the same song has extremely different meaning to different band members?
Yeah, I think one thing we've talked before was that we don't ever want to put too much direct meaning on it.
Right.
One who receives the music is going to receive it from their perspective, and it's going to mean something to them, hopefully, that tells them something about themselves. But there are definite, like lyrically, there were definitely concepts that were floating around that I was writing from. So there is a meaning, but I think it is supposed to be more symbolic, and maybe even like visceral experience, that even if you didn't understand the language, that you would understand the feeling that you get in each part of the song as it's changing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Letting the music speak for itself or stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings me to a follow-up question. Before though, can I just have Marina? Can I just have you get a little bit closer to Matt? Thank you. So the music is like for interpretation or of everybody almost, and it tells a story, but it is your own kind of engagement with that music that creates everybody's story. And at the same time, this particular festival, not every show, but this particular show, this particular festival, is to also support a very specific thing. Obviously the festival is not just a festival. It's also to raise awareness and funds for the Rosehaven shelter. what does for a band that likes to stay somewhat enigmatic, if you will, how important is that element of, I know that the Portland scene is extremely healthy and is really rich, and there's a lot of bands that are very engaged with community. Being part of a festival like this that also tells very specific, that has a very specific message, and that is trying to raise awareness for specific issues. How important is that for a band like you guys? Because you're not, as far as I can tell, Barrel Clouds is never going to be a band that makes a song that says, hey, this is what we think and you should do this, right? But that is exactly what this fest is all about at the same time. So what is that experience for you, if you will, to be part of an event that is not just a music event, but is also is a charity event at the same time?
Um, you know, I think I do want to say things sometimes, uh, but again, coming from this emotional, experiential place, we would rather say things through our actions, through our music. So, we don't tell anyone what to think per se, but if they want
Right,
to
right.
follow suit, great. We're definitely hinting at certain humanitarian themes, I would say. And I was really excited about this festival because I do crave to see more representation and community around femmes and heavy music. And Rose Haven's a great organization that does great things. So it feels good to be able to donate our time for a cause. It's really rewarding. And I just like to see women in their power, screaming and being silly and having fun. So partially I just wanted to be there, but it's an honor to participate and to be a part of that representation too for other femmes who want to be in heavy music.
Before we wrap this up, I do want like a shout out just across the board is and that's part I think of the storytelling element of this band. Your artwork is always on point. Like it seems like a lot of time is spent on that. I don't think I've seen a flyer of a show of yours that I don't think is cool. How much time is spent in the band discussing the surrounding elements? Forget about the music and writing the music, but the visuals, that not music video, but that movie you're one day going to make, right? The flyers, the album artwork, and stuff like that. It comes across to me that is something that is almost as important, and I don't want to mean that in a bad way towards the music, but it feels like a lot of thought goes into that. Am I completely off here, or is there some truth to that?
I don't think so. I think we compartmentalize well. Like we don't spend a ton of time, like most of our time is focused on the music. Like
Right.
Whenever there is a need for, merch or flyers, like we've been talking for a few months now about what to do with the album cover. But we don't like, so it's like once it's time to focus on that stuff, we go hard. We do like, not because it's necessarily like about putting across the right image for the band or anything, but we're all just like really intensely creative people, and it's just another opportunity to make a cool thing, like a new project to get to work on. So we do go pretty hard on the visual stuff, live or flyers, whatever. But we don't spend like a ton of time focusing on it. I don't know, like, but it is important.
Yeah.
Haven't taken the priority because we've just been writing and hammering out these songs as fast as we possibly can in a way, just to get started. And so it's something that we keep talking about, wanting to talk about more. It's like as soon as this album is done, which is very soon, then we get to start really focusing our efforts on the visuals and the story and where that will take us. But I know there are visuals that come with my lyrical writing too. Sometimes I see concepts, and so in my mind, if I could tie back some of those, you know, concepts into just like match the lyrics and each song to like an overall theme. There's a little bit already mapped out there. So,
Okay.
but again, everyone's so creative that I'm sure it will take its shape in a way we don't expect yet.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, like we've been having like a little, not like trouble because we haven't really dug into it, but like paring down an album title, which is going to inform the artwork, which is going to inform like her lyrics are really ripe for, they're very like, the imagery that you can pull from is really intense and it's really varied. And so like I'm really looking forward to
Awesome.
the visual artistic side of this upcoming album.
Awesome. Well, we have this show coming up for the festival. We've got a new album coming at some point. We'll get updates on that when the time is right for that. But in between these two things, to wrap us up, beyond this one show that's coming for the fest, what else is coming our way? What can we keep our eyes open for? When are we going to see you play more?
Well, we don't have anything booked currently, but we were actually like before I came here, there's a show that we were talking about maybe getting on. There's a couple kind of like halfway lined up, but just don't know what's happening with them yet. But we've been so intensely focused on recording and writing before that we just like we're all kind of a little ADHD, and so it's like hard to do all of those things at once. So it's like one thing at a time. And now that that's done, we're gonna start booking a lot. We want to play like a fuck ton, but we only have the fest right now. But yeah, that's the plan. Playing a lot of shows.
Maybe an album release show at some point, and then hopefully more opportunities will find us.
Yeah. So, in other words, for everybody in the greater Portland area, well, just anywhere, if you want to see this cool band play, you better, get over to the Femme Fatale Fest because it's going to be a unique opportunity for the time being. Awesome. Well, Marina and Matt, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it, especially when you're at another show and you're probably just waiting to be over with this interview so you can finally go and enjoy the show. So I want you to do that. Have a fantastic rest of the evening, and we'll keep our eyes open for content coming from the show, and also we'll keep our eyes open and fingers crossed for announcements about the upcoming album that hopefully you'll be able to share sooner rather than later. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and have a fantastic show in a few weeks from now.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.